Yo, what's good YouTube? Zamcrow here, aka Scoot, back with the Pokemon Battle Federation Season 5, and we're here with the divisional round of the playoffs against Curtis, coach of the Wisbech Town Weezing. Pretty threatening squad he has. I'll go over in just a second after I go over mine. We have Tapu Bulu, Suicune, Mega Charizard X, Crobat, Fortress, Metacham, Acelgor, Stunfisk, Smeargle, and Frostlass. And our opponent, Curtis, like I said, coach of the Wisbech Town Weezings, he has Mega Metacham, Excadrill, Snorlax, Darmanitan, Rotom-Wash, Dusclops, Togekiss, Clefairy, and Superior. Our Z-move users are Tapu Bulu and Snorlax, both of which we had brought. And yeah, this looks to be a pretty fun squad, or a pretty fun battle, I should say. Opponent has some threats. I don't have a switch in for Mega Metacham, so kind of, well, I have ways to revenge it and whatnot. So it's not that big of a deal, but like I said, I don't have a switch in for that, so it could be very problematic. Excadrill as well. I have a spin blocker, but it is weak to his spinner, so coming in on an Iron Head is not optimal or anything like that. Z Snorlax is pretty scary. Curse with Curse, Rest Talk, Curse, Mono, Body Slam, or Return, or something like that. Gluttony sets with Recycle. Snorlax can be a problem. Darmanitan's very powerful. He does not bring it, so that's really good. Rotom-Wash, kind of annoying. Last time, I'm not sure what my opponent brought on his Rotom last time, but we did play in week 1 where we came away with a very narrow 3-0 victory, where our Metacham put in the work, but this week we opt to not bring Metacham and instead bring Tapu Bulu. However, the rest of the team's pretty much very similar. Outside of that, I do believe. I guess Superior was a huge threat. Yeah, he doesn't bring it. I do have the Crobat to check it though, so it makes sense. But yeah, that's the team. We bring a Swords Dance substitute, Tapu Bulu, Scald, Protect, Toxic, Suicune, with I think Roar, maybe Rest. We got the DD Zard with substitute, Dragon Dance, Dual Stab with the Fire Punch. No need to run Flare Blitz since I don't have the Roost. Got a Taunt, Brave Bird, I think. Taunt, Brave Bird, U-Turn, and Roost, Crobat. And we got Stunfisk here with our Rocks, Discharge, Earth Power, and Toxic, I do believe. And then on our Frostlass, we do have the Spikes, Taunt, Shadow Ball, and Spikes, Taunt, Shadow Ball, and Ice Beam, I think. But yeah, that's going to be the team. We'll hop into the battle real quick. This is a long battle, so I want to go ahead and hop into it already. As you can see, I do have the speed for the battle at the bottom of the screen, bottom left-hand corner. So I will be putting it on fast once we get to the part where it needs to be sped up a little bit. So here we are able to get our Spikes up, and then Taunt as he switches out to his Excadrill on the Will-O-Wisp, which is really good. We can check that infinitely now with Suicune. A burned Excadrill just can't do nothing to Suicune. We're going to go ahead and throw off a Toxic there, predicting the switch, as he goes straight into his Togekiss. And we're going to stay in here and click Protect. Almost clicked Scald, but just in case he had the switcheroo or the trick, I wanted to scout for that, and he does. So I'm going to switch out to my Zard, and he makes a dole out into his Rotom. So okay situation for me is I can set up a sub as he Volt Switch out into his Mega Metacham, clicks the Fake Out to break my sub. I guess it was better than potentially missing the high jump kick, and I guess he thought it would break my sub. However, if I was a bulky Zard, that wouldn't have broke my sub. But yeah, be able to pick off the Metacham, switch out there. Didn't want to be hit with like a Thunder Wave or anything like that, so wasn't going to allow that to happen. A few turns have passed that I missed, and I just can't keep up, can I? If I'm not pausing, I'm not going to pause this video because I don't want it to be any longer than it has to be, and I know it's already going to be super long. I kind of want to skip But it's an okay battle, so we'll stay in here. He goes for the Thunder Wave, revealing that I was correct about my prediction earlier, and very happily switched out my Zard so I didn't get waved. I'm going to be able to set up my rocks here, and then I'm going to proceed to stay in here and throw off a Toxic as he goes for the Will-O-Wisp, which is fine. It's actually really fine. Actually, Will-O-Wisp don't really bother me that much. I'm going to go out to Bulu here and predicting him to not click Will-O-Wisp. Anything but Will-O-Wisp there. And he actually doubles out into his, he switches out to his Driller. And I don't want to take a Poison Jab. Even if he's burned, it's 4 times effective. I don't want to take it. So I'm going to go out to my Frostlass, predicting maybe a spin. He doesn't go for the spin. I don't want to get hit with the Iron Head. And I predicted him to switch, but he did not switch. So I actually end up having my Zard in there. But he seems to be Choice Scarfed of some sort. Or Choice Locked of some sort, I should say. And he poisons me with the Toxic. I don't think it matters much because I don't have Roost, so longevity wasn't a thing for my Zard anyway. It's just really there to click Dragon Dance and sweep, or click Dragon Dance and break. I'm going to bring in my Stunfisk as he goes for the Hydro Pump. It's a really cool play there. I'm predicting another Hydro Pump. I'm going to go out to my Bulu. He gets a critical hit. It's not going to matter much since I do have the Horn Leech. However, I'm going to opt to set up a substitute here as my opponent goes out to Excadrill. And even though I'm behind a sub here and could potentially even just win the match, I don't want him to be able to spin. Looking back on it, it's probably a misplay. Because had I just stayed in and clicked Horn Leech there, he would have broken my sub. But I would have been, I would have had the Excadrill gone whilst having Tapu Bulu on the field where his team can't knock me out. Maybe a Togekiss, Choice Scarf, Air Slash, or something like that. We do think it is Choice Scarf as he went for the trick earlier in the match. So we're going to assume that for now. It goes out into his Dusclops here. I'm going to go out to my Crobat. I can take any hit. I don't want to get burned or anything, but I can take any hit. I'm just going to taunt here. Don't want to be Will-O-Wisp, so that was my better play. And now I can U-turn out and go into whatever. Here, I should have went into my Zard and sacked it off. But I'm going to go into Stunfisk on the Volt Switch. So that works out a little bit. But he's going to be able to go for the Hydro Pump here. So I'm just going to double out into my Tapu Bulu as he actually makes a switch out into his Snorlax. And here, I am going to pause the video one time here. I want to talk about this play for a minute. My thought process here was if I click Swords Dance and he switches out, or he only has Return or normal stab, if he doesn't have Gunk Shot, then Swords Dance is my best play. However, Substitute could have been a fine play as well. But I do click the Swords Dance here, and my opponent's going to reveal that he actually does have the Gunk Shot Snorlax. So pretty cool there. Caught me off guard, and could very well change the game around here. I'm going to go out to my Suicune as he goes out into his Togekiss. I get a critical hit on the Scald there. It didn't matter in like long term because he's going to go for the Defog here, and I could protect and then proceed to go out into my Frostlass and continuously set up spikes as he's continuously defogging. Here I am going to finally drop my Stunfisk to the Hydro Pump finally. I'm going to go out into Zard, click the Dragon Claw. No sense in doing anything else. And it's going to be a double down. And here I'm going to go out into my Frostlass as he goes into his Snorlax. So fine play by me here to just go ahead and go for the Will-O-Wisp as he goes for the Gunk Shot. So now my play is to taunt as he's going to go out into his Dusclops. Fine play. Really his only play. And at this point it's getting to the point where like the last month's Snorlax, so I can't roar him out with my Coon. And just have to hope that I can 1v1 him here. I'm going to taunt him. So I've revealed Spikes, Taunt, and Shadow Ball. Here he goes for the Body Slam as I switch out into my Crobat and I get paralyzed. Okay, not the biggest deal in the world. I didn't want to get full parried there, so I did switch out into my Suicune and got paralyzed again. Ay. So here I'm going to go for the Scald, and I get a roll, not in my favor. I don't even know if it was a roll or not. I don't know his Snorlax investment, but I do know that I'm in a bad situation here. So I'm just going to let this kind of play out and talk about it a little bit. I did turn the speed up to fast, so it's going to be going a whole lot faster here. As you can see, the problem is he's boosted. So as long as he can keep boosting up and eventually just rest off all the burns, any kind of status and whatnot, stuff like that, he's going to be in a situation where he could potentially win the game. So my game plan here is to roost all the body slams and the gunk shots, and then taunt him continuously until he struggles to death. That's the plan. So, yeah, that's really all I can do. Just keep burning him, making sure that gunk shot doesn't ever knock me out or come close or anything like that. He's never going to do damage to, if he's burned, he's never doing damage to Suicune either. So if I can PP stall his rest, then I could also burn him and then eventually 1v1 him anyway as well. So as long as I don't make any crucial misplays, I should be able to 1v1 the Snorlax by PP stalling it and making him struggle to death. I have enough mons to where he can struggle to death before he can kill all 3 of my mons with struggle, which is pretty impressive in my opinion. Yeah, so just keeps going back and forth like this. Few body slams, few gunk shocks, some curse and rest, will-o-wisp, taunts, spikes. I just kept saying that over and over. I finally said GG in the chat, as you seen there, on turn 64. A bit premature, but I did the calculations, and it was 100% that his Snorlax could not beat me because of the PP. And my opponent asked me if it was GG, and then I told him what I thought, and he said probably, and then he said, yeah, you're right. I guess he looked at his PP and realized that it was, dropping tremendously. And then he says in the chat, he asked me if I want to continue, and since there was a potential of me misplaying or a potential of him not being PP stalled, I wanted to give him the chance to play it out. So he asked me there in the chat, want me to forfeit or something like that. I said, no, we can play it out. And he said, okay. So, yeah, I wanted 0 cheap wins. Wanted 0 cheap wins this season. So, yeah, definitely going to let him play this out here just in case he could also get a crit too. So that's something to think about. Yeah, turn 80 here. So there's quite a few turns here. I'm going to speed this up a little bit. It's going to make the video shorter, but I don't really mind. So, yeah, we can just speed it up here. A bunch of taunts, spikes, 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 spikes. And basically all my opponent can do is, be asleep, burn all of his turns, wake up. Rest doesn't work when you're at full HP, and I said that's pretty cool. And he said it makes sense. It does make sense. And here he struggled. So he's struggling now. So now we're making some progress here. Well, he was taunted there, so I think that actually makes a huge difference. Yeah, he was taunted. So he's out of attacking PP. Now all he has is rest and curse. So if I can PP stall all this up, then I'll be in a good position. He can no longer hurt me unless he is taunted until he runs out of PP. So Suicune will slowly but surely get some HP back. Scald burns are a thing as well. So, yeah, it's going to keep going for a little while. Slowly but surely, watch a Suicune get his HP back. I go into my Crobat here, so I know I can roost up all my damage that I've taken and be back at, max HP, essentially. I'll do the same thing for Suicune, let it slowly get up there. Something I could have ran on my Frostlass was something like Pain Split or Leftovers would have been nice. It was a lead set with Frostlass, Spike lead, whatever, Suicide lead with spikes. But yeah, wow, 106 turns. And my opponent's, it's funny because my opponent's going to lose with a +4/+4 attack and defense. Last mon on the field without any attacks. It's boosted beyond belief. It takes no damage on the physically defensive side, and it gives off tremendous offensive damage even while it's burned because of how how boosted it is. It's pretty funny. So here we are. I'm going to be able to taunt him. We come through with the taunt, meaning he does have to struggle here. We're going to roost this damage off, and he's going to struggle to death finally on turn 114. So that's going to be a good game to Curtis, and we're going to move on to the conference finals versus A1 Glade and the Gainesville Gallades. So looking forward to that. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you thought about the battle, the prep, etc., etc. Let me know what you thought about 114 turns. I think that's a record for me in Draft League format. Yeah, again, good game, Curtis, and leave a like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff. Let me know what you thought about the battle and the prep, etc. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.